All right, guys. Just playing around a little bit with a little chord vamping there with the Ditto Looper. Guys, welcome back. This is Eric here with Guitarsenal. And today, actually throughout the course of events today, we're going to be reviewing several pieces of gear that we borrowed from the kind folks at Atlanta Discount Music. In fact, just about everything we're demoing today, they'll be released in different videos. Came from Atlanta Discount, so they're a great bunch of guys, and they allow us to make some racket for y'all. The sound that you're hearing is coming from that little 50-watt Vox AC mini amp. Okay, so it's a really interesting take on a guitar amplifier head, so to speak. It's 50 watts. It's touted as being NuTube technology, and I'll explain it because the manual says it a lot better. Now, the thing about me being a redneck is that at least I know when to cite the manual. All right, NuTube technology. Okay, it's kind of a different take. There's all kind of funny writing on this. Where's it at, Chad? The part in the instructions that show the NuTube. So basically, it's a different take on tube technology. So, all right, about NuTube. Okay, so this is the technology that this head uses. NuTube is a new vacuum tube developed by Korg Inc. and Noritake Itron Corporation, and utilizes technology from vacuum fluorescent displays. As with conventional vacuum tubes, the NuTube is constructed with an anode, a grid, and filament, operates as a complete triode tube. Furthermore, it generates the response as well as the rich harmonics characteristic of conventional vacuum tubes. Now, you know, I was a little bit skeptical about this little amp, you know, because I didn't really know what to think about it, but it actually does sound really, really nice, okay? Now, to get some of our drive sounds, we were engaging the Vertex Ultraphonics as well as the Vertex Boost, if that gives you a hint about what's going on here. And we're getting a splash of reverb from a Strymon Flint, which is another pedal we're going to be checking out in a future video. Here is the dry signal from just the Vox amplifier by itself. We're running through a Mesa Boogie enclosed back 212 cabinet with two vintage Celestion 30 speakers in it. So here is the clean sound of the amp. Hopefully I'm in tune. That's dry amp, no effects, no nothing. Just to give you an idea. All right, rhythm pickup. Neck pickup, all right. In between both pickups, I've got everything relatively full out. Bridge pickup. All right, so not a bad sound. It's kind of a jangly sound. This little amplifier is sold in a couple of different configurations. This is the AC configuration, which, as you would probably guess by the forward cosmetics of the mini amplifier, that it's meant to be kind of a Vox AC30 sort of inspired tool. You know, the amplifier will go up to 50 watts. We're running in the 8 ohm setting right now, which gives us about 25 watts of power. Now in a moment, Chad is going to crank this thing up a bit and manipulate some of the simple controls. The controls are super simple. You just get a volume, gain, and tone, super simple. And there's like a little output setting on the front, I guess to make sure that you're pushing the front end with the proper amount of output and that you don't have weak output. So that's a really cool feature there. And that amplifier is small enough to literally put inside of a gig bag and take with you to a gig. So if you got, I don't know, maybe your favorite pedal or two, or maybe like, all right, let's add a splash of reverb. Right, back on the neck pickup. Just a splash of reverb from the Strymon Flint, and that is the 70s profile with just a splash of reverb. You know, you can get into that. You know, that sort of thing, and it sounds really, really nice. Okay, so if you were running that little amp in the front end, maybe not so much in the front end of like a PA system or something, but if you've got a house cabinet on hand with some relatively decent speakers in it, or even if you're running just a basic 112 rather than a 212, I think you would still get some pretty juicy tones out of that little amp. And the response is actually very, very decent. The price on these amps is incredibly reasonable. So it's not a very expensive option. For those of you that want to get some, you know, and I hate to even say, Chad, I hate to say surrogate tube tone, because it really is, it responds exactly like a tube amplifier. I mean, if I just dial back on the volume a bit and get a little bit more gentle with the touch. Very nice. You know, it responds well and it takes pedals well. So we'll just throw a Ultraphonics drive on there. We're just sort of getting in like this sort of Dumble-like territory on the bridge pickup. We can get some pretty juicy tones there if we hit it with a boost. All right. Whatever that was, but you get the idea. I mean, it can get chunky if you want it to be. All right, here's naked amp only with just a splash of reverb. Why don't we manipulate some of the controls a bit? Now, we've got it set up just kind of middle of the line right now, but we'll start getting into some different gain structure here. This thing will get crunchy all on its own. Guys, for my sanity, I'm gonna leave a splash of reverb on the signal, but I will let you hear it dry as well. Let's hear it dry first. All right, ready? with reverb. Let's turn that back just a scotch. Pretty crunchy. All right, we're getting on the top. Oh, that's the gain topped out?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get on Mr. Bridge here. That's a rockin' little head, man. Let's leave the gain juicy. Leave the gain, yeah, leave the gain juicy, and let's hit it with the boost. Because reasons. Dial the tone out a good bit. Let's get Mr. Tone up on the amp a bit. All right, that's still with the boost engaged. I'm going to add a splash of delay. Ooh. Not bad. I feel like the tone probably sounds just scotch better, a little bit, you know, on the lower end, and letting the guitar do a little bit of the work there, but not bad. All right, let's get rid of the boost and engage your fuzz. Yeah, I've got it. Sorry, I've got it kind of loud. Let's get back on the volume a little bit there.
Turn that gain down.
It's got that ratty, broken speaker sound with the fuzz, which is really cool. Okay. What other territory can we get into? I think that's pretty much the amp in a nutshell, guys. I mean, we could noodle all day, but I'm trying to give you an idea of how it plays with different pedals. You heard a little bit of reverb. Let's hear a splash of trim from the Flint. Very convincing, man. I mean, it really does behave like a tube amp because it is a tube amp. And now it may not be a traditional tube amp in the sense that a lot of us really, you know, strive for, but for the price, for what that little guy costs, I think it sounds pretty dang good.
219 bucks.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you were to take that thing to a gig and there was a cabinet on hand, or if you took a cabinet with you, a small cabinet or whatever. Now, granted, this is just these speakers and this configuration in this room with this guitar. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes you could go down, but for just a small, you know, tote to a gig, a last minute gig kind of thing, or maybe you don't have access to your tried and true old school equipment or your favorite amp, it is a great thing to just have in a bag of tricks. And these things come in different voicings. So I forgot to really finish the point earlier. This is the AC30 type voicing. They also have a clean voicing and a rock voicing. So you can get these amps in a couple of different configurations. But I think personally the AC version is really cool because it really does nail that Vox AC30 kind of chime. I mean, now short of taking an actual Vox AC30 and doing things with it. Now, the volume is definitely not going to be, you know, right where you would think. I mean, did we ever really try to get high up on the volume? I know we've got the gain up, but that's a limitation probably?
Well, I could crank it, but I'm going to have to turn down the mic.
Yeah, I don't really think that that's going to benefit the folks at home much here in this video. But it will, just so you know, it will get pretty loud. I don't know if I would call it like loud gig with a drummer loud, but it definitely can be pretty dang loud.
You want me to crank it?
Let's crank it real quick. We're gonna let's adjust the microphones, guys, and let's crank this thing and see how it sounds dimed up a bit. Okay, you can hear maybe just a little bit of background noise there, but all right, now we have the little amp cranked. We're just gonna let you hear how it sounds dimed. Now, all right, being in the room with it.
Remember, this is 25 watts because it's on the 8 ohm setting.
Okay, so 25 watts, NuTube technology. It's pretty loud. So I retract my previous statement. This amp would definitely keep up with the drummer. Now, it depends on the kind of music you're playing, but honestly, for most of your, let's just say, bar gigs, small lounges, clubs, that is more than enough volume to peel the paint off the walls. I would not consider that amount of volume to be inadequate at all.
Try cleaning up real quick with it cranked.
Okay, cleaning up with it cranked. So let's get into the middle position, and let's get kind of where I like to be for this, and we'll try. All right, so here's the rhythm pickup, down to about 5, about halfway. You know what? Look, here's the thing. I like my small Fender combos, but I will say that that is a very useful little piece of hardware, and it sounds very, very convincing to my ear. I mean, I'm a tube amp kind of guy. I mean, I'm not like a snob, okay? I'm not like, oh, only a tube amp will do, but only a tube amp will do. I mean, I'm a tube amp kind of guy, and I kind of went into this thinking, you know, maybe this thing may not sound the way I like, but it does have some nice touch-sensitive dynamics. It's got a nice, you know, very respectable sound to it. It cranks well. It doesn't sound all flubby and ratty when you crank it. It takes pedals well. It's light, it's handy, and it's freaking cheap. What more could you ask for if you're a working man who's got to get out there and do his thing and not have to spend a ton of money? I think it sounds really nice. So guys, thanks for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed you know, us noodling, just having a little bit of fun and trying to draw a couple of hopefully decent sounds out of this amplifier for you today. Special thanks to Atlanta Discount Music, obviously, for loaning us this particular example. And guys, we post every Monday and every Friday here on Guitarsenal. Make sure you tune into our videos. We hope you enjoyed it. And let us know what you think about the length of these videos. I mean, are we rambling on too long? Are we going over too much information? Are we noodling too much on the guitar? Should we try to keep it more specific and exacting? Let us know what you think about that, and we'll just go from there. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We recently passed 10,000 subscribers, so thank you very much for subscribing. Make sure you click that notification bell and you get our videos. So really cool, man. I think it's a neat amp. I dig it. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in next time, and we'll see you. I'll make a little bit of racket here, and we'll let you guys be on your merry way. All right?